As you begin to move on the next stage of events, you, after some trials and tribulation, manage to enter into this asylum of secrets, if you will. After completing a few trials and more or less housing a potential criminal, they, in fact, summoned something in the area of the forest that was in Mortania. Uh, Potential lives were lost. Lives were, in fact, lost because the Oni did eat them. Uh, you managed to, after knocking them out, acquire them here. They did something with weird blood curse magic, but, overall, no one has died yet. Through a few trials that you guys embarked on, Milo, Apani, Yoko, Aster, all completed the first one quite well. The second one is where half the team got eliminated after going through their fears, or at least not fully connecting with theirs. Two were removed from the trials. The elder did mention you can try them again, but not immediately.
No, I want to do them now. Go.
And Yoko and Astra finished it off with completing the third and final trial, which was the easiest out of all of them. Still, though, you succeeded, and that's all that matters. At any rate, after a good long rest, you guys, or was it a short rest? I don't remember, but you're fully healed. You did level up. Hopefully, you guys leveled up.
Did we? Was that level 9? Yeah.
Yes. For those that lost, you got an additional health dice. For those that won, could get a fee, a question answered, or etc., etc. Those that got their things. I believe Yoko, I sent it to yours, and Astra, I still think I require you to give you guys a name. So, at one point, if you do seek things out, just let me know.
Yeah.
All right. After waking up, and I'm going to say you take a long rest, the elder looks towards all of you. Well, it's been interesting, but I'm assuming you all have to venture back to your own society. The man that you've brought with you is currently being attended to by the guards. You are free to take him with you. It's still quite strange that you tied him up, but based off of everything you told me, potential violence could be ensued, so I suppose that is the reason. The guards do move, allowing you access back to the tent. I think you guys can move the token, but I'll leave that up to you. Right. Anyways.
This guy?
Yeah, the guy that's shielded. I don't remember why he has that symbol, but... Oh, okay. I know the unconscious one. I just remember the aura one. Anyways, collecting him, potentially. I don't know, maybe you leave him. The elder does state. That being said, though, you have stayed the night so you don't die at night traveling. But if you're not part of the village itself, you can't exactly stay here forever. So feel free to move on, or if you intend to stay longer, just let me know. But we can't house you here forever.
Before we go, I was wondering if we could trade these glaives we got from the Oni for anything you might have here?
We don't... Maybe. He looks towards one of the agents. Well, one of the group members. I wouldn't call them agents. I just did, though, because I was thinking of a different campaign. And the man in purple moves over towards you, and he does state, Greetings. You mentioned something about glaives. I am a weapon expert in the area. I could potentially swap some out, depending on what you need. Do you mind if I look at them?
Go for it,
Hmm.
and I'll direct his attention to the glaives.
You show him the glaives, and he does state, that's interesting. They do seem to be slightly magical, but only a large beast can truly wield these properly. Unless you have the enlarge reduce spell and are willing to eat that spell slot, or unless you control the fabric of the weapon itself, which is a little bit harder than casting a spell. I can trade for these, I suppose. I don't exactly have... it depends on your kingdom, but I could potentially give you the value of gold for it. It just wouldn't be in coinage. Or I could potentially give you a new weapon.
Do you have any swords you'd be willing to part with for them?
Nothing that wouldn't be a secret other than the few that we do have. So I suppose yes. He then shows you 3 swords. One of them is dyed red, as if liquid blood has pooled over it, and the remaining stain is what's left. There is a blue one that has an icy chill to it. Looks at first glance as if the ice is cracked all around it, giving it a fissure look all over the blade. And the last one looks to be just green with a sickly tint of black at the very edges of the blade.
I think I like the blue one.
Sure, I can tell you what they do, though, if you want to just know.
Yes, I suppose that would be
You will go
beneficial.
choosing blades based off purely aesthetics.
Sounds about right.
For the 2 glaives themselves, I can exchange you for one of these blades. The blue one, since you've been adamant about that one, does do cold damage, and the person that has been hit with it, the first time on each round that they have been hit, must make a Constitution save of 12. If they do not, they are frozen to a chilling touch, allowing them not to move for the round, if you will. It does deal 1d8 slashing damage and 1d6 cold damage. The red one is known as Vampiric Kiss. Oh, I suppose I didn't give you the names of the... it doesn't matter. You can name them whatever you want. The red one...
Well, I think it's best if I use their given names.
Sure. The blue one is known as Chilling Touch. The red one is known as Vampiric Kiss. It does deal 1d8 points of slashing damage, as well as 1d6 points of bludgeoning damage. And what it does is, if you hit on a crit or roll a 19, the number rolled with a d6 can be redistributed back into the wielder. Simply stating, if you roll a 19 or at a game, if you roll a 19 or a 20, that's considered a crit for the weapon to have the second effect proc, and the d6 bludgeoning damage will be reseeped back into the wielder, healing them for that amount of damage. So it's good when it rolls high, but there's only like 2 points of where it hits. But that's still like 15% chance out of my quick math. So, that's pretty good. It's not 0.1%. Fair enough. It's still good math. He then states, and the last one is known as Leaf's Blossom. It can first deal 1d8 plus 6, not plus 6, 1d8 slashing damage plus 1d6 psychic damage. And that's all he says. Just kind of looks cool.
And if you were to sell the other two, how much would they each be?
I don't fully understand your metric within your own market value, so I can't honestly give you an estimate. But I suppose. Which one, or are you looking for both of them?
Well, either one.
Very well. I'll just give you market values for each one. The red one is 3,000 gold. The blue one is 2,500 gold. And the green one is 5,000 gold.
I see. Well, unfortunately, I don't have quite that much money, so I'll just be trading for the blue one then.
Very well. You hand them the glaives and he hands you the blue blade. You can name it whatever you want. If you truly want to. But again, it does 1d8 slashing and as well as 1d6 cold damage. The first time a creature gets hit on their turn must make a Constitution saving throw of 12 or be frozen in place, aka they lose their movement for the round until your next round.
Okay.
They just politely bow and then like go back to whatever they're doing. The elder then states, "Right then, I suppose anyone else need to do things. We do have people here that can perhaps help you out if you have the material things to do stuff. We are planning on heading out back into the world in a few weeks, so I suppose they would need funding for that. Well, standard funding for that. They can't pay everything in chunks of silver and gold after all."
I guess that's no, but we do appreciate your offer.
Of course. He more or less says his goodbyes. Don't hit you where the door hit you, or whatever the saying actually is. But
Don't
You-
let the door hit you on the way out.
yeah, that one. Man, did I butcher that one? Anyways, you guys begin to head potentially down the mountain, unless you state otherwise, in the next 5 seconds.
No, I don't have any other reason to remain here.
Okay. To recap, basically why you came here. One, Aster thought that some of the people that died due to the Oni might have been from this area. So they brought the bodies here, they buried them, gave them their last rites. The people of this area did. And two, there was a hidden door that the shady-ish group that you guys are working with wanted knowledge on. Because they gave you more or less 3 optional things you could do to expedite their job, because, you know, the type of job that you were looking at, aka looking into the matriarch of the kingdom to the north of you, does require a lot of funds.
Oh, right. I remember that now.
Yeah. You did
Yeah, it's
complete.
been 2 weeks.
Yeah, you did complete one mission though, which was to kill off the Oni because they needed that area not as violent as beforehand. So you still completed the mission. That is still being done. I just wanted to recap this in case you needed to do something.
That's what my notes say anyway. Might have gotten something wrong.
Yeah, you wanted the cave entrance system because they needed to operate in the kingdom to the north. That's what was going on. Because you wanted him to go into the underground. Okay, appreciate that, Yoko. But nonetheless, you begin to head back into your own system of operations, aka your own main kingdom. While this area does exist in your kingdom, it's more or less isolated. Unless you know how to get here, because you guys do know, you wouldn't be able to find it. Or at the very least, it would be a trial in itself. You more or less cheated the system. So good on you. That being the case, though, you eventually make it back to the kingdom itself, to your own kingdom. And I'm just going to put you here, because I don't exactly know where you guys would be heading. Oh, not everyone's there. Delete. Paste. Tiny. Why is Roll20 going slowly on me? I hope it's just that and not my internet.
It's Roll20. I'm having some issues with it.
Well, at least I'm not the only one. As you return back into your own system of operations, you can tell that, or at least you do remember, that Fiel is currently the governing branch of your own governing system. I don't know why I'm talking this way. I just am. Fiel was the politician that went to the lycanthropes to the west to help negotiate with that deal, aka the king's sister. You guys more or less are brokering that deal. I'm going to say the rest of the council members are here. So I'm going to quickly phase them in and then phase them back out. Well, phase the one that isn't here currently. Well, two aren't technically here. One got super murdered. Well, not super murdered, but super hurt. When the more or less attempted strike on your guys' potential life. When he, blew up a bomb in the room. And the other one is currently on a political matter. But you guys do enter into the area, and Dean does greet you all. While he's not exactly the kindest to Aster, he's not, rude about it. Dean does state, after everyone else also nods towards you, "Oh, good, you're back. Well, first of all, we do have a few notes here from your sister that she has left for the last few days." She hands them over to you guys. Miss Yoko, you yourself are doing fine, but you did receive a missive from your own kingdom. And Milo, so far, the agent that is working with us to help establish a communal system with the lycanthropes to the east, is doing fine. In fact, I can see why they were chosen. But Miss Alpani, your sister is looking for you for some reason I'm not fully aware of. She said it was a family thing.
And if it's family matter. I should take my leave.
Right.
Is that urgent?
When it comes to our family, we are the guardians of that sanctuary in the Feywild. It could be very urgent.
Very well. Do not be a stranger. You are welcome back.
Thank you.
Upon begins to take their leave. This actually doesn't happen. This next part. As she begins to leave and the doors begin to slowly close, as she begins to flip you guys the bird, and then the door finally closes. That, however, is my own headcanon. Whatever Apani actually did.
I mean, I feel like she might.
And slowly Moon walks out.
Yeah. Slowly moonwalking out. Dean does state, other than the missives that the heir apparent, your sister, has been sending to you, we do have one retainer returning back to us. They are currently waiting in the waiting room when you have time. So those things have been given to you guys, and they go straight back to work because, you know, you kind of have to help out running the kingdom and all. You can feel free to talk with any of them or, you know, deal with your own current situations. Again, open world. I can only give you so many directions.
I'm gonna find somewhere to sit down and read that missive.
You do have a room. It's been a while since I said this. Your young spry retainer, Sprite, you know, greets you, makes sure that you have everything prepared, waits by the door as you enter into your own room. It is fine. Everything has been taken care of too.
Did Sprite go with the sister?
Oh, that's right. And Peter did as well to make sure that she got there safely. It's been a few weeks. They might have returned back. I'm gonna roll a d20. Bufftown, one of them at least came back. One of them at least came back. I'm gonna say it's Sprite. I already mentioned her. Peter might be staying there to make sure that she's safe at the very least, which does make sense. Still taking care of you, making sure everything is okay. Coming back to state that the princess is fine. She also, I believe, has a sending stone, so, you know, she can communicate if need be. You do open the letter using your blade. And opening it up, it does read, within a few months, the next emperor will be selected within the candidate families. Advisement is currently necessary. We are looking for branch family retainers to make sure that our family is secured this position. If you believe you are necessary in this endeavor, please feel free to visit the main branch before executing any other plans in front of you. Be advised, other agents have been notified of this message being sent out, and you may find strangers in your current homes. The way that is written, it's not indicating that there is a random stranger sitting in your room that you didn't notice beforehand. It's more or less saying people from your own hometown are spreading out to potentially find other people to help their positions, other people that could potentially help train them. You might, Yoko, encounter people from your home now out in the world, beyond just people that randomly decided to travel. They are expressly getting out there to help train themselves, to get people that can help them ascend. And they called on you, maybe not to be the next leader, but, you know, to help qualify them to be. It does read the sigil itself does have your own main branch family. So it is not from your specific home. It is a cousin, but a cousin that has higher status than you.
Okay, Yoko will read over it a few more times and think on it a bit.
Yeah. You can easily
So it-
tell
Yeah,
that.
so you can move on to someone else if you want.
Okay. You can easily tell that the next emperor will be chosen, or at least the next potentially trained emperor will be chosen in the next few months. Not immediately, but they are making you aware of this. More than likely, you're not the only one that got this message sent to them. Aster and Milo, where do you think you guys are heading towards? You don't have to be together. I'm just stating your names because you're the current ones that are visible.
I need to find one of those
I heard find one of those rocks.
rods.
The immovable ones?
Yeah, I know that we had like a map drawn up of all their locations, and I know that there's quite a few actually scattered about the city.
Oh, those rods. We're going rods. What do they mean by that? Okay.
Is he speaking in tongues?
You know of a few of them. You know the garden area that is currently being excavated, taken care of, to help supply homes to those that were displaced. You know of the wall one. You know of the well one. And you could potentially find others if you dug around the capital long enough, but those are the main three that you know.
I'll go to the garden one because I think that's the one that's most easily accessed at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, because you told people to work around it. Coming back, the foreman does look towards you. People around begin to worryingly look as if you're going to tell them to stop. The foreman comes over towards you. Your Majesty, it's been quite some time. You're not helping us out again, are you? He gives you a worried look.
Do you need an additional hand?
No, it's fine.
I'm not above it. Feel free to let me know if you do.
Oh, no, it's fine. A few people in the background. No, really, it's okay. No, we got this, sir.
Excellent. You won't mind if I meditate here then, will you?
No, we have the area you stationed for meditation still accessible to you, in case you wanted to continue to do that.
Good man.
He nods, takes you to it. All right, I'll leave you to it. If you need anything...
Before you go,
Of
I'm
course.
going to lower my voice and bend down to speak to him quietly, as I am a giant. What is so off-putting that my presence and helping is not wanted?
Not a thing, sir. For sure, that is insight you don't have to roll. But
Please
you,
speak.
at times, do slow production down.
I see. Forgive me, I'm not a builder by trade.
Well, it was honestly, I assume, the first time you did things. So I do appreciate the help, but people have their flows of doing things.
I see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Going back in memory,
next time I mean to help, I will be sure that I ask for perhaps an easier assignment where I can better make use of my strength and perhaps not hold things up too much.
Of course, sir. Any help is appreciated. Going back in time where you were actually helping them out, a lot of the times when you found these things, you kept telling people to stop doing their work, and they had to wait until maybe a few hours until you communed with these rods until you got trained enough that you could do it almost instantly. But rumors spread. They don't hate you. It's more like, how slow do we have to work today?
I see.
But honestly, they don't legitimately hate you. They just worry that they have to slow down production to make sure that they accommodate you. It's more of a worker mentality. Other than that, you are honestly fine. But
Very well, then I will keep you no longer. Back to it.
very well. If you need anything, just shout and we'll have someone attend to you. You do have like 2 retainers currently with you because kings don't usually travel alone. They are mainly servants, so there's no combatant with you unless you assign one to you. But the foreman moves away.
And yeah, I'll sit before the rod and try to commune with it.
I believe you've rolled well enough that I'm just gonna wave it away. After like a minute to maybe 10 minutes, Aster, roll a D10.
It's like the one thing that I don't have like a hot bar to roll.
4. After 4 minutes, you do commune with the rod itself. Eventually, you do sync up with the general concept that you've provided to it. It reads the message that you've given to it. And I do believe it was... I don't have it in my notes currently, or at least I don't have access to it.
It was above all else, strive to do good.
Yes. I just remembered the do good part. That message is still playing through and through. You get a small glimpse from time to time of the blade that you pierced into form this contract and the blessing that the god gave you to fully establish into this system of operations. It is still going. It is still heavily active. Thinking back on it, you also released a lot of energy that was seeped into the ground by these rods. Now, whatever it's affecting, it is affecting it in its own new terms.
But I'm feeling the presence. I'm seeing it.
Yes.
I know not with whom I entreat with, but beseech me. I fear in thy moment of creation, my mind and goals were all clear. Pray thee, let me parley with thy, if not for but a moment.
As you're saying this, you do feel a strange disconnection, not from this presence, but the waving energy that goes throughout the world. You more or less feel that. And it feels as if within a spectrum of that wave, as if a guitar string, that kind of force was snapped. And then the waving energy washes over it. And in your own speaking afterwards, you do feel a voice. It is not tangible, because it's not vocally saying this, but it is in your mind. It is a best way I can describe it is it possesses no anger, no strife, no sadness, just nothingness. It does state within your mind, above all, do good. So you know there is a act of consciousness behind this.
Yes, those were the words I echoed to you at your moment of creation. But I fear that it may have perhaps been unclear or clouded. So I am here to rectify that. But first, a small story. I am ill of body. I have grown strong and worked for strength. weakness tempered by power. I know little of my birth circumstance, but now I know at this time who I am and what I aim for. Confusion tempered with certainty. I am born of noble blood, but lack a way to relate to those of the same. Prestige tempered humble. I know my ideals and goals are beyond me, beyond anyone, yet I still hold as fast and as close as I can to them, and I do not mean to hold trial to others by mine own creed. Idealism tempered by worldliness. But why do I speak of you to this, echo of mine own echo? I was shown things recently, these ideals twisted, warped in a way I'd never wish. So now I have come to correct mine own mistake. Do not mistake me, though. I still hold fast to my creed, to my want and what I expressed back then, but I failed to impart this temperedness to you, to these expressed ideals. I am greedy. I'd want the world, to have us all under one banner and want for naught, to lean on one another and cast gods aside so that we might pave the way for man. I do this for love. As much harm and evil as I have seen, been born into, it is only right that this greed is tempered by love. So I command thee, echo of my thoughts, hold fast to these impacted convictions, but always temper them with love. That many are not beyond redemption, that many do what they do out of necessity, and if offered redemption, would join the cause, if not fervently, then at least in presence. And one's actions far outstrip all other facets of their being, and the fact that they'd stand side by side with these impossible ideals and goals speaks far more than any sin they've committed or obligation they've failed. So uphold these ideals, but temper them in accordance. That is my decree. Temper with love and understanding, and we shall want for naught.
You do state all this. It is a decree beyond your words to your words. But it is also a rewriting, a restructuring form. It is going to be difficult, and it is not going to be a persuasion roll. This is you fundamentally rewriting what you have already written. I feel like this is Arcana. But I'll give you advantage because I like the speech. I'll give you advantage because I like the speech, and you just rolled a natural 20. Fair enough!
The RNG also liked my speech.
Yeah. Ringing into this spectral form, whatever this thing you have provided to you and your kingdom, it doesn't register your words. Rather, it is being rewritten by your words. It is not an impossible task, but it is going to be a far more intricate one that it needs to do. Rather than the things it might have been doing, you try to rewrite it, which is not an issue. It's just because of how the wording plays out, it can't just immediately do things. It needs to fully connect the patterns before it can act. Much like a detective doesn't just murder the first suspect that they find on a murder case. They also don't generally murder people, but this is medieval times. Let's say they murder people.
Watching.
It also depends what you're watching. That is true. Regardless of that, Asher, you do believe that you have rewritten it properly, to the degree that it will still do what it intends to do, and that is do good. It will just take more time for each structured form, and it won't just immediately do what it was doing. You actually don't know. You're just basing it off of a great fear, but at the exact same time, it's not without merit. Because in that fear, you also saw your brother and your father, the ones you murdered. One of them did state that they are coming down to hunt you, which was your father, and your brother did state that I will see you again when the time comes, back in your world. You're not fully sure if that dream was just a dream, but, better safe than sorry. As you more or less register this structure, you do actually hear a cadent voice, not just nothingness within the voice. It is not the same one you heard. It is something that simply states, surprised still. I am disappointed in this outcome, but you have already enhanced what was lost when your father was in this role. I can still work with what I have.
Riley, do I
You're
I-
cutting out, Master.
Brady, with whom do I entreat with now?
It is beyond your own comprehension, but you may, as many others, refer to me as the light. It is what your father called me when he, at first, worked with to enhance his kingdom, and then worked against to keep it safe. I do pray that you do not make the same mistakes.
There are people who operate against me, claim to serve the light.
Is that a statement or are you asking a question?
That's just a statement.
Okay.
That's just that's like actual fact.
Yes. The entity does state, whether their actions are against you or not, it does not stand grounds here. Their actions are their own to advance the prosperous nature. If you fight against it, then perhaps it is too late to be cleansed.
And what is your end goal?
Mine? As any god would. To have peace. You may meet an agent of mine in the future. It all truly depends if you keep walking in the shadows. And this entity, while not physically there, you do feel like it's leaving.
I shall champion my own ideals wherever I might go. I do not mean to obfuscate or hide them. I cannot, but go against my creed.
And if it is against the true purification of this world, then you might fall within your own creed. And the presence does vanish. The weird breaking of guitar string feeling has subsided by now, and you don't feel that kind of presence anymore. it wasn't this thing that was doing it, but you do take note that this thing is aware of this. Just may not have done something. Perhaps it couldn't. You're not entirely sure, but that existence is a thing you're aware of now. It called itself a god. When you're more or less focused on this, the foreman that was talking with you just like politely whispers in your direction. Not losing concentration, but you are aware of this. Is everything all right, Your Majesty? You've been there for about an hour.
I am well. Thank you for checking on this. Perhaps time I go. I was just enjoying the moment.
No, all right. Well, we're about to take a break, so if you still need to do this, I guess we'll see you in an hour. Foreman calls for their lunch break, and people begin to head out, packing their things safely, but eventually just leaving it there, and some of them begin to get lunches, others begin to head out. Asher, you're more than welcome to continue to meditate, but you do feel like the mission has been successful. Or at least this part of it.
I'll stay by and probably linger around the construction site, much to the workers' dismay. But I'm gonna just try to like be there to like help move heavy things and not get in the way, really.
Okay. People do worry a bit, but you're no longer calling for like hours of slowed down production or pause on production. So they are helping out. You are actually helping out to build the subsidized housing, which is, bonus. And your view, their view on you has increased. Not by much, but, it does seem that you are actually trying to help this time instead of pausing for hours between your work. Which was kind of what you were doing. You weren't doing it on purpose, but that's kind of what happened. The last time you were helping. As you do that, Milo, what are you doing? Unless you're not back yet.
No, I'm here.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't know. I guess I'll go see how the envoy from the what do we called it, like what, clan or something or whatever?
It is more or less a clan or a tribe, depending on how you see things. I call it a tribe because, it has lycanthropes in it, like a pack.
Alright, I'll go find the envoy from the tribe. That's here.
Okay. I am
See how
just...
they're doing.
Yeah. You go to find River without too much of an issue. She is currently with the council members. Working on the position that you guys are currently working on. She's not in the proper lair. Token lair. You do know that she is a werecat. More or less can easily blend in with society so long as they wear a hat. The fur around their neck is a little hard to disguise, so they always wear like a long cowled coat or high-rise collar.
Okay. Just check on her. And ask her that when she has some time to chat.
Yeah. She's doing good. After a good hour, she does have time to chat. After, more or less negotiating and brokering things with Dean, based off of food supplies, chain of travel, potential housing for the lycanthropes within the actual community without stigma or stigmata of, potential threat to their lives because they are more or less considered biologically in danger because they can spread the lycanthrope virus or curse. People often see it like a curse that needs to be destroyed because of how Aster's father was. Not a lot of good things. They go with the stigma of things. People not realizing that a lot of them are now at this point born through lycanthropy. So some that do get trained well enough don't necessarily transfer, much like yourself. River, after getting a good break, does head over towards where you are, Milo, and she does state, yeah, sorry for the wait. Thankfully enough, everything is going well. They are trying to cut down on costs, so I understand that, or at least understand where that's coming from, but overall, nothing that requires potential arm bending, if you will.
So I have a question for you, and it's about me. Just had some stuff we did, and it came up. And does the tribe consider me a part of the tribe? Am I
Yes?
considered a member?
Like, she answers yes in a quizzicative manner as if she doesn't fully understand the question. Not in the way to say that, no, you don't, but in the way of, I thought you already knew this information. Yes?
Okay. Well, thank you. That'll be all. I'll get back.
All right. Do you need to talk about anything?
I don't know. It's just I know whenever you guys helped me and everything, I just thought you were being nice. I thought I was just a guest, and with losing everything, I didn't know I had anywhere to belong. So I didn't know, and it came up to know. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
I
you belong somewhere.
understand where that's coming from, but you do realize that's our entire thing, right? We do get kicked out and ostracized of society, therefore forming our own pack or clan. You are always welcome to be with our team. Well, with our community, Milo. You are considered part of the pack.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. And even if you do have to travel, you are more than welcome to come back home.
That means a lot to me. So,
Of course.
anyways, I'll let you get back to your work. And I'm gonna go this way. And just walks off awkwardly.
Take care. Like, she pauses for a bit, and then after a good distance where you travel, she also goes not towards you, but the same direction, and then eventually makes a left where you make a right.
Alright. I'm waiting until others show up again.
Yeah. As you're doing this, or as you guys are doing the things you do for the day, oops, she's tiny. She's a tiny character. And token layer. Dean does head over towards a room with a retainer that has currently returned. Looking towards the room, he does state, terribly sorry, ma'am. I did state that they were here today. They seem to have maybe not remembered that I said someone was waiting for them, but if there's anything you need or any information you need of the city, I know you've been here a little bit beforehand, helping out with Miss Fael, but things have changed after the massive amounts of reformation that the kingdom did not in to help establish a greater communal living.
Do we know when the lady will be returning?
She is currently on a diplomatic mission to the east. Right now, her brother is here, though, if you would like to speak with him. I do hope he doesn't take that long. I did tell him you were here roughly 2 hours ago.
Very well. I guess I shall wait. I'm not sure where I might find him.
Very well. Dean does head out, and Akios, how do you pronounce your character's name? And describe your character.
I'm assuming it's pronounced Zhao.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. She is, for all purposes, human. Dark hair with purple highlights in it. Kind of the Asian. Well, that's what it was supposed to be. Asian look. Does not carry any weapons on her visibly, except for a short bow.
Yeah. What's your passive perception, Zhao?
18.
You do hear Dean, like, after he enters the hallway, he does state, you there, good sir. Please inform the king as immediately as possible that someone has been waiting for them for the last few hours. Hopefully he can get the rest of the team here. They are waiting for the heir apparent to return after the diplomatic mission, but they do need a retainer in the meantime while they're here. So please hurry as soon as possible. Yes, sir. And immediately you do hear, like, running footsteps out into the hallway to likely look for the king, based off of everything you just heard. You have a passive perception of 20?
I have a regular perception of 10. I have expertise.
Ah. That does make sense. I had a character, not in this group, have a passive of 21 once. It's wild.
Yeah, didn't Iscariot have like a 20-something
I think so.
before?
Yeah, I think Hugh ended up with like 20.
Yeah, you had a 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people get crazy, and you guys are also, two classes at the exact same time, so I can see that.
Also,
she got that high from the alert feed.
I'm going to send you a message, Adogma. It's just for item management.
Mm-hmm. The attendant quickly rushes through the hallways, as politely and as safe as possible, of course. He is well trained. Knocks towards Madame Yoko's room, and he does state, Madam, the king will be here in a bit. I've been informed to tell him and his retainers, as well as his employees that currently work with him, that someone is waiting in the waiting room. Once the king makes connections with you, please hurry to that meeting. They've been waiting for several hours. Then quickly you hear mad dash out of the kingdom, or out of the castle, not the kingdom.
Nope, gotta go out of the kingdom.
Out of the kingdom. As he's rushing through, I'm going to say he finds Milo, informs Milo the exact same thing. Once the king makes connections with you, please hurry. Runs out down the stairs. I'm going to have them roll an acrobatics check in case they fall. Below 10, they fall. They fall. Bam, 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 hitting each stair. Hitting the wall underneath, they quickly get up and then begin to run out of the area. A maid casts prestidigitation as well as healing word. They are not dead. They are fine. Rushes out. And like, I'm gonna see if he can track Aster well enough.
Milo feels the same way.
He told people where he was going.
Okay, that's fair. The attendant quickly rushes over towards your area. No longer needs to roll. It would have been difficult. I thought you meant you told Yoko and Milo where you were going. That is my bad.
No, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gardens. I gotta do something.
Yeah. That's my bad. They would have probably...
Understandable that you took it that way, but yeah,
Yeah.
statement.
Rushing over towards you in about 15 minutes, because this is a good distance. You do hear this retaining just shouting towards you. Your Majesty! Out of breath, he does eventually state, there's someone waiting for you. Waiting room. Hours. And then, like, passes out.
I'm gonna, like, grab him by his shirt collar.
He's not dead. He's just
of, like,
tired.
10.
Like, you politely grab onto him before he hits the ground, taking damage. After a good bit, he does recover. Sorry, sir.
It is all right. I assumed that when I can assume what happened to you, man.
You see him battered and bruised and like some blood on him. Fell down some stairs earlier. Might have a concussion. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Yes, I knew that they were here. I just assumed they'd be shown here to the gardens after I said that's where I was headed. Very well. Come on then. Let's find you a cleric to get you checked out. And that, I retract that. You go find a cleric to get checked out and make sure that that isn't going to hinder your duties. And I will go back to the castle where they are looking for you.
Right. There is a cleric area here. In fact, you've found one of the clerics that works for the light beforehand, so he visits them. They heal him. He is fine. He's not going to die. For now. You don't know. Maybe the clerics murder him. You see him a few hours later. And eventually you do make it back. Meeting with Milo and Yoko. Dean does greet you guys while you roam to the waiting area. Dean does state, welcome back, Your Majesty. I apologize for the abruptness of this. I had assumed before heading to the gardens you would have attended to the visitor.
No,
Did
it's...
he had visitors?
They did. I was aware that
I mean,
I'm sure that it does not happen again.
You're cutting in and out, Aster.
Sorry, I bumped my mic and fucked up my gain.
Yeah, me too.
There's no need for apologies. This was the result of failed communication on my part to take the appointment in the garden, but I failed to relay that. It will not happen again in the future.
We will also strive to clear things on our own as well. It is not without our own fault.
Come in. I've kept them waiting too long.
He excuses himself after he opens the door and presents you. Ms. Zhao may present an ambulance in the background. May I present King Aster and his two current retainers. There was a third. I believe they are doing something involving their family, as they do come from a different world. if you excuse me.
Why are we... Milo looks over at Yoko. Why are we called retainers?
Dean has like a passive of 15. You currently work for him. If you want a different name, I'll give you a different one.
Just Milo.
He like shouts into the room. Just Milo and Miss Yoko.
Sorry. I- Idiosyncrasy.
Okay.
You are cutting out bad.
Hold on.
I like how it was good for your speech and then it cut out when you're doing simple things.
I mean, at least he got through his speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm going to say a guard was in the room and is still currently in the room. So, Miss Zhao wasn't just in the room without anything to do. The guard probably got her a good book, maybe a nice cup of tea, maybe a nice cup of coffee, whatever. Simple things while you were waiting. Ba-ba-ba-ba. You guys want to take a 5 while Aster figures out what's going on?
Sure.
Yeah, and like that. Sounds good.
Okay, 5-minute break. Hopefully Star is okay. Or it's my connection again and I don't hear him.
He hasn't said anything.
Okay. Was a little worried. Could be eating something.
Alright, I'm back, sorry.
Welcome back.
Or you could be there.
Again, no rush. Just wanted to make sure everyone was here. Dean, introduce you guys to this person in the room. He went outside. Milo did state, why does he call us retainers? And he did state, you guys work for him. If you want something else, I'll call you that. Just Milo. Then he shut it in the room. Milo and Miss Yoko. And then door closed. And then Astrid said his thing. Something about idiosyncrasies.
Idiosyncrasies and titles aside, forgive us for the wait. To whom we have the pleasure?
My name is Shao. I am Lady Fayo's retainer and personal bodyguard.
You've been away quite some time in that case.
I was performing my duties as her retainer, gathering information on her requests.
You do know your sister does this a lot, especially after, well, a lot of things, to be perfectly honest, especially nowadays. This does track. The guard that is in the room, like, presents you with the proper documentations. It's not like a random person that just came in here and said, yeah, I work for you guys. You just don't know it.
Just declared themselves an employee.
Yeah.
kind of a good rouse, though, not gonna lie.
Yeah, could work. You see Miss Zhao currently carrying a ladder as she got in. That's how they got into the building.
Fun fact, she doesn't need a ladder, she has the fly spell.
That was a joke. That's a meme people do.
It's a fucking Kasarigama grappling hook.
The documents that presented to you guys are properly documented, indicating they are underneath your father's signature, which means that Miss Zhao was a retainer way before you and your sister ever physically met. So she's been away long enough that, you know, the entire coup thing happened.
So, has anyone caught you up on what's happened here recently?
Lady Fayo has sent missives and such while I've been away, explaining the change in power from her father to her brother. So I did expect the other brother.
Yeah, actually, Zhao would know the other brother better. I'm just gonna give you this one. I didn't consider it beforehand, but yeah, why not? Before anyone else can stipulate on why would you expect him? He's a terrible person, which, dependent on who your viewpoint it is. He did nothing while these terrible atrocities were going on, but at the exact same time, he knew he was the next heir apparent to the dynasty. Zhao, you do know that the brother in question that you mentioned beforehand was the next expected heir. You do and have kept eye on him from time to time in case there are any potential threats to the kingdom itself, as well as any potential threats to your charge. You can and do know that the brother in question was plotting behind the king's back, was plotting with potential connections in the underworld or in the seedy areas. From time to time was plotting with people in high political repute, gaining favor, gaining a whole bunch of things. Looking through this lens and the scope, you can tell once he was in a position of power, he would have power, not absolute, but can easily get things done as efficiently as possible. But there was never any malice towards anything. You never saw him attack anyone anywhere, never abused his power, never, insulted a sous chef for bringing something cold to him and threw it in his face. You can roll insight to see what you fully picked up on this, but you've taken these notions from the former brother. Like, he was trained well and he did things to be the next leader efficiently. That being said, though, I'm not saying he isn't without fault. Like, to completely ignore the things in front of you, there's that. Like, a lot of bad things happening in front of him. You also don't have to roll insight. Just giving you this chance.
Not.
You can tell that the brother in themselves was not the best person in the world. He wasn't a saint, but he also was making sure that the father in question did not figure out his cover, did not figure out things that he needed to do. Again, it didn't help out when people were put in danger, put in the situations that systemically his father built to create, on the base grounds that he needed to be in the position to rule as soon as he was governed the next heir and given that position. Without that immediate established titleship, he would not be able to do anything, so he wasn't rocking the boat. You can tell he was a kind man, but he wasn't the kindest man, as, again, he was willing to just not do anything that would upset his father before gaining the titleship of, the next leader of the kingdom. But that's just what you know of him. You can colorize the way you felt about him yourself. Not here to judge. I just needed to give you guys this information because you've never actually spoke to him. You cooed, asked him how he wants to die, and then murdered the man. Well, executed because, technically you were in the position of power, Aster. Technically that is an execution by all names. Not murder.
Execution is just the name for state allowed murder. Like,
yes, but murder has a specific context to it.
Aster has never shied away from the fact of, like, yeah, I murdered the fuck out of my father. Everyone talks circles around it, but he just calls it like it is.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's almost like a running joke at this point to me.
Fair enough. With Zhao's paperwork documented properly, you can tell she is still retained to the family, subsect your sister. But your sister is currently away. And Miss Zhao, you do know that you were called here to help back at the capital. And that was basically your general line of being called back.
Well, Vail is off on a diplomatic assignment at the current moment. Is she the one who who sent you a missive calling you back?
Yes, I was requested back here, needing to assist with situations here. Uh, Unfortunately, I wasn't able to complete what I had set out to do in the first place. But the one I was tracking is quite tricky. I feel like that could truly be the missive that she got.
Would be.
That'd be great.
Angry typing.
Oh no, I was smiling.
That also could be a message.
It's just
Oh,
that. That's
we
the
all
whole.
know- We all know her standpoint on all the women that keep gathering around Aster. So
That he keeps
Yeah.
gathering around.
That she is now encouraging, for the record.
It's more like he
Yeah,
knows
let's
that
add
she
some
won't
of
do
our own.
anything.
Um,
I don't know. Does she know that if Zhao can resist Aster's charms?
yes, the charms of an almost 9-foot tall leper.
You never know. She could be into
Hey,
that.
maybe she's into that.
Besides, contemplating this circumstance, you do state this, and the way things currently work, Aster, you and Miss Zhao would know that she would be governed underneath your care until her actual charge returns.
All things considered, if she has called you back, she means to have you babysit me. I will not deny her the right. If that is what she means to do, then so be it. Zhao, until Mufayil returns from her mission, I am to be your charge.
Very well.
As you take on this assignment, they give you a brief recap, a clean one at the very least, of what has been currently going on, things that they've been facing, trouble within the Horizon line. A lot of things aren't good, but you know, that's how things be sometimes.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. No one's died yet. A lot of his team has disappeared and gone missing, though. But, you know, on missions, it'll be fine. No one actually has gone missing. It's just me making you guys paranoid.
Yeah, I'm not paranoid.
I'm sure it's nothing.
Has Fayil relayed any other information?
You were given a directive missive stating, and don't tell my brother this, but also watch out for the people he keeps inviting around him. I don't assume the worst in my brother, but it seems that certain people keep catching his eye. And he really must think about his position.
Uh-oh.
With the undertext of that, Zhao, you can tell it's more on the lines of Aster might be getting to trouble with people. Keep an eye out because he seems to keep inviting them around him. That could mean a lot of things. It could be watch out for criminals that he keeps inviting towards him, women, men, others, lizard folk, elves, people from different kingdoms. It's a variety of things. She just basically give you a baseline of watch out for my brother and who he keeps inviting in his inner circle.
Fayil's starting to sound a little bit like Jesus. This is slippery slope here, Fayil.
If you do give this information to Aster, I'm just gonna clearly state this outright. It is the women you keep inviting around you, Aster. And not theoretically choosing one to potentially wed, or anyone else in general to potentially wed. It's more on the lines of, watch out for my brother. He seems to be a hound dog, but you know, I'm not gonna say that in those words. Especially on a piece of paper that could potentially be found. Anyways. Miss Zhao and the rest of the gang do more than likely introduce each other. And you do have a good amount of downtime before anything else happens. So, I'm just gonna go from left to right. For the next couple of weeks, what do you guys do? Milo.
I don't know.
Okay. Not knowing.
Rain, I guess. I don't know.
You might honestly go through your life without too much of an issue for the next couple of weeks. No one is dying. No potential danger is currently happening. While this is going on, Aster, what are you doing potentially for the next couple of weeks?
I assume in my absence that the council has elected to let paperwork pile up. So I will see to that. And if that is not the case, then I will happily and obediently, without holding up work, continue to help the restoration.
There is some paperwork that doesn't get finished because they did lose one council member, your sister, traveling to this diplomatic mission. That being said, it isn't a lot. They did, help out
Do
with
their
that paperwork.
fucking job.
Yeah. But, some things still slip through because your sister, unfortunately, is a very good worker and did a good amount of the work herself. So, things didn't get to pile up and people had to rock, paper, to scissors to see who stays later than the rest of the group. They actually did something political, but I'm just going to say rock, paper, scissors because it sounds funnier. But it's not enough. It's not enough that you completely get washed in paperwork. So what else did you say you were doing?
I'll help assist the workers obediently and without holding up work.
Okay. Thankfully enough, you help out without causing cause or concern. Without too much trouble, you are helping out, and within a few weeks, or at least within the time of a few weeks, the established walls of the structure get built. The established foundation is still presented to you. Well, the foundation was there before you actually started building the walls, but now roofs are being constructed as you're currently working. Yoko, what are you potentially doing for the next couple of weeks?
I want to fight Yoko.
You want to fight
Good.
who?
Yoko.
Yeah, I suppose she'd be willing to do that.
Outside of that, what else are you doing?
I think I'll send a letter to my family back in Zeno asking about where did I write that down? if they know of anyone called Lily from the Red, or a swordsman called Hickory,
Mm-hmm.
and also just mention to them to take care of themselves and stay out of trouble.
All right.
And I'll also look into travel expenses to Zeno and Keanu, however you say that.
I think that's how I pronounced it.
Oh, Kian, that one.
I think I pronounced it Quinn, but let's go with Kian. It's been a while since
Yeah,
I've seen the name.
I'll look into how much it would cost me to travel there.
Traveling there isn't really an issue. It's surviving there. A lot of the people are nomadic, but not everyone is. The most established clans in the area have built a form and function there. It is a very rough, tumble place. Effectively, if you can't fight, if you can't do anything prosperous for the kingdom itself, agricultural-wise, hunting things, primarily is their thing. Strength is their thing. You generally don't survive for that long. But it will cost you about a few days of travel in your current position.
Okay, then I'll just also do some research on and see what I can learn about that
Yeah.
country, kingdom, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. By the end of the few weeks, you will likely receive a missive from your family without too much trouble. But in the meantime, Zhao, what are you doing for the next couple of weeks, other than keeping an eye on Aster?
Well, that's one of her main things. She'll show up at random spots just to look over, make sure Aster's safe, and kind of investigating the other two.
Yeah.
Make sure he is not doing the womanizing thing.
Again, his sister wouldn't say it in such terms, but you would understand what she means. But yeah. Easily enough, you do encounter the people around his life. A lot of them surprisingly women. Like, very attractive women. You can put two and two together what his sister meant. But other than the few council members here and there, none of his current group members, Miss Yoko, Milo, or anyone else, really hits on him. So I don't think you have to worry about that. Maybe his sister's being too overbearing. Who knows? But other than that, you can tell that Milo and Yoko do seem to be individuals helping out a cause, which could or could not contribute to the kingdom itself. You do know that it's not hard. Yoko is a sword fanatic without... I don't know if this is the proper sentence structure, but without reason, they just really like swords. I've never been given a reason. I think they just really like swords. So I'm just going to say it that way. Milo seems to be from a lycanthrope tribe that has been brought in due to political means to help out with that current situation. You would be aware of it at this point in time after a few days, that they're trying to be integrated back into society without damnation. Seem to be two good individuals. Other than that, Zhao, anything else you're doing for the next couple of weeks? You don't have to plan out your weeks. I just want like general points.
She could probably also investigate the city, see what has changed in the time that she's been gone. But outside of that,
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
and since Sprite is back, I'll resume training with her.
Okay. That is not an issue. And I'm going to say a few days pass after a few days of what you guys are doing. And Milo, after you guys, I'm going to say, check out how the training yard is doing, either to check out on your military Aster, Milo looking to fight Yoko. Yoko, you rent out the courtyard for a few hours here and there. And Zhao, you're there, to keep an eye on things. As Milo just challenge you to a duel.
Friendly spar.
To friendly spar.
Well, what will the terms be?
No limits.
Sorry,
Uh,
what was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said no limits
Okay.
as he cracks his knuckles and starts changing.
Oops. Thank you, Zhao. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Milo says no limits. Yoko, you don't have to accept, but that's on you.
Very well. That's acceptable. And I'll cast mirror image on myself as I step into the ring.
Milo and Yoko, roll initiative. Okay. Didn't think I'd have PvP today, but here we go. Aster and Zhao also roll initiative. I'm not saying you're part of the fight, but just in case you try to do something, I want you guys to be in an initiative spots. Add turn. 22. Okay, here's how it's gonna work. First of all, no one kill anyone. That'd be rude. Other than that, the general rules are swordsmanship okay, magic okay, things like that are okay. Anyone that attempts to potentially help out in this fight will have to do it on their turn. They don't just immediately cast a spell unless you mean to stop the fight, in which case you will have to roll an acrobatics check to do something before, I don't know, maybe someone gets too heated and they try to kill each other. Again, don't try to kill each other, people. So how it's gonna work, I say Aster. If he says anything, I will pause there on his turn. Then I'll go to Milo and then actually wait for his turn. Same with Yoko. And then I'll say Zhao. And if they say nothing, I will move forwards. Okay? Okay. Aster. Milo. Oh, wait. Unless they're making a joke. Okay, I didn't hear the voice. Milo.
Okay, as a bonus action, I'm gonna howl, and as I do, the arms, the spectral arms, kind of stone bear arms, appear over my out my shoulders, and the stone bear face appears over my head. And then I'm gonna rush in and swing with the with my staff.
All right.
Yoko. Let me find it. Let me make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm doing it with both hands. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They do have their spell cast up. I forget the roll they have to hit. Yoko, do they hit an image or you?
On a 6, an image.
Okay.
Well, a duplicate.
Yeah, duplicate. Milo, you go in with a swing with your quarterstaff and you smash through Yoko. But as you smash through it, the image dissipates away. Anything else, Milo?
Yeah, I'm gonna swing again.
I assumed.
There's the second one. Since I already used my bonus action.
But you or duplicate? Oh, duplicate. You just scooted it. Again, you smash through and the duplicate just phases out. There's only 2 of Yoko now, which is helpful because better than 4, depending who you ask. If you even ask an enemy, better than 4. Anything else, Milo?
No. That'll be it.
All right. Yoko.
Well, I'll back up a few spaces. She does
Yoko.
not get an attack of opportunity.
You're not going to attack of opportunity.
Okay, in that case, I'll cast Greater Invisibility on myself.
You disappear.
And start my Blade Dance as my bonus action.
It is now very hard to hit you.
And that's it for me.
Okay. Zhao. Aster. Milo. Star, if you're speaking, I don't hear you.
You know, I'm trying to read something. Hold on.
Okay, no problem.
Not knowing whether or not knowing the last spot, I don't know whether or not she moved when she turned invisible, but only I'm gonna hit the same spot. I'm gonna take the staff and slam it down on the butt end down on the ground, and
That would be disadvantage, but you can still do it.
oh wait, no, hold on, I read that wrong. Alright, I'm not gonna do that because it had a little bit more than I remembered.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot about some of the abilities of the staff.
Fair.
Well, I am gonna go. I'm gonna move. So would she still be in range of my astral arm, like mechanically? I don't know if she's still there, but you know, from the
Mechanically, if you
'cause my
attack
arms
an
give
invisible,
extra 5. I'm just
uh,
talking about range at the moment. I know I have disadvantage to try to hit
extra
her.
5, yeah. If the arm gives you reach.
Yeah, the 2 astral arms. I'll just. Yeah. Okay. As a bonus action, I'll do the what's the monk thing?
Fury of blows?
No, I can use it to do step. Is it step
of the wind?
that can make me move, or I can go use dodge? No, not that one. The other one.
That one?
Yeah. Yeah, that patient defense. And I'm going to use the arms to punch in her direction. That direction where I last saw her.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. So. Alright, let's see. Making sure they're the right ones. Oh, hold on. Let me just run it again because I forgot to add disadvantage. 22.
With everything they have, their AC is currently 23, so that does miss.
Alright. And
Unfortunately, they started to dance.
12.
12 does not hit.
Well, that first one does hit my last mirror image.
Oh, cool.
The first hit was a 22. Oh.
Yeah, but my mirror images only have 10 plus my dex mod for AC.
Ah, okay,
Okay.
cool. Hits it. You feel something waft in the air, Milo, Aster and Zhao. You can tell if spell was dispelled, but you didn't hit anything tangible.
Right. Alright. Well, of course, I have the patient defense, so. Other than that, I'm gonna say that's it.
Okay. Yoko.
Okay, I'll move over here and make a attack against Milo.
You would have disadvantage, but seeing as I can't see you and you're invisible, you have it normal. That's funny.
Correct. $25 does hit.
And I'll make it a stunning blow.
Go ahead and roll, unless you have something.
It's a constitution. Oh, it would have been 18, but I didn't turn off the disadvantage. So 18. So
Okay. I don't know why you would have.
rebuke.
What was that, Milo?
I said reaction, hellish rebuke.
You have to actually get hit for Hellish Rebuke. It's on taking. It's on
Yeah, I
taking
did hit
damage.
that.
Oh, okay.
She hit me with the 25.
Yeah.
Sorry for and then the save was the DC. Never mind.
Mhm.
I'll shut up.
No, it's all good. Yoko, I forget. Was it invisibility or greater invisibility?
Greater invisibility.
Cool. So hitting into you, Milo, you feel your body tense up, but you overcome it. You use your inner fire to burn into the area. For a quick second, you can tell that Yoko is there. After the flames burn away, do they need to make a dex save? I believe they may need to make a dex save.
Yeah, dex save DC 16.
I think they still take half though. Burns away. You can tell that the body moves. You're not sure if they're still there or not, but they did hit you, which really hurt.
Concentration.
Yes. You'd have to
I don't
roll
think-
up 10 or above.
I don't think I take any damage.
Oh yeah, you don't because they're evasion.
Oh, the evasion feat. I forget what classes you are sometimes.
We're both monks, partially.
Saving
Right.
it, you take no damage. You don't, I suppose, need to roll a con save. Annoying. But you're fighting each other, so you're not fighting my NPC. Yoko, it is still your turn.
So I'll go to hit him again.
13 does not hit. 26 does.
And another stunning strike.
Hold on. What's your DC?
17.
Do I have anything that gauges that? Wait a minute. No. Okay. I'm done.
Okay. Yoko hits into a area that causes Milo's body to freeze up in the moment. Zhao,
I was
Ignoring-
going to use a flurry of blows to keep hitting him.
going back to Yoko.
Okay, I have. How do you have 3 attacks normally?
Oh, that's what I... Damn it. I was supposed to say I was using my flurry of blows before that third attack. So I just make one more.
I mean, you have advantage, but you have it.
Yeah, but it's also the dodge action. Even though you're technically stunned, you are still underneath that condition. So it's just a flat roll. 21
Oh!
still hits though.
Yeah, you. Oh, yes.
She is also still invisible. So it's a flat roll.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Dealing another 8 plus 6 points of damage. You just beat into the man that's currently frozen in front of you. Okay. Now Zhao. Milo's turn skips as he's frozen. At the end of the turn, he begins to move again as Yoko takes their turn.
And I'll try and just knock him out of the ring. Can I like try and push him?
You could do. What does the stunning strike again do? Does it stop once it hits your turn again, or after your turn?
It's at the start of their turn.
Okay. It would be contested. It would be athletics yours versus their athletics or acrobatics. Unless you have a
Suppose I'll
spell
try-
that can like push them 10 feet away.
I suppose I'll kick him first.
That's right. You're a kicking person.
That's
Well-
no good.
That's no good.
Also no good.
Mm-mm.
Or wait, he's not dodging anymore. So these should be an advantage, right?
Yeah, technically. The
Okay.
first two hits. Sorry, the first hit doesn't miss. Sorry, does miss. I'm gonna say the 12 and the 16 are the same hit.
That's fine.
Roll again. 27 does hit.
Okay, and a stunning strike.
You
Minus.
attempt to stun into him. Milo, go ahead and roll another con save. Yeah, that passes. You still take the damage, which is 16, but you don't get stunned, which is the main problem. Yoko, that is your first two attacks.
Then I'll flurry of blows and try it again.
Okay, because not the dodge action, you still have advantage. 26 does hit.
And another stunning strike.
Milo, you see that Yoko keeps going in for your joint areas to pin your arms down for a good spasm. Roll another con save.
Yeah, I'm stunned.
Now you're stunned.
And I don't know if this is allowed with flurry of blows, since it specifies a unarmed strike. But can I try and push him back with this well, instead of hitting him again?
There are like throwing attacks, and I don't see any reason monks wouldn't be able to do this as an attack. I'm just gonna say you.
Said no stipulations. That means no ring outs, no rules.
Well, since Yoko's under the impression that that's the end of the fight, she's gonna move over here and drop invisibility.
Okay. I would imagine like Milo's right here, like just out of the
Yeah.
ring.
Alright, hold on a sec. Alright, let me roll this.
Much like Aster, Milo uses his words.
No, I had to, because of where I'm at in my health pool, I had to make a roll, and if it was a certain thing,
No,
I
no, no.
was going to
I mean to
transfer it.
continue the fight. I mean to continue the fight.
Yeah.
Like when Aster like tells people, tell me what I want to know, and I promise you I won't kill you. And then Yoko kills them, or you kill them. But your wisdom save was 11.
Alright. Are we still in the turn? Is Yoko just standing there for her turn, I guess, then?
Like Yoko goes into the corner, like more or less stretches, drops invisibility so you can now see her. Like she does see you. Unfortunately, her passive perception is quite high. Not as high apparently as Zhao's, but whatever.
Well, she's not a spy either, so.
He-
And I did say I was ending my turn.
yes.
And then it would come back to your turn, because I'm
Zhao,
stunned.
Aster, Milo, Yoko. On your turn, Yoko, you do see. Milo, how would you react after, how would your body react after being unstunned? And you see Yoko
Right
like.
now, everyone sees this. My eyes have glazed over red, and I'm still in a fighting stance.
Okay,
Like
Yoko, you still see Milo like going into. You've seen him transform before. He's like in that in between step of continuing the fight / turning into a lycanthrope. You know the fight isn't over, or at least you know they are going to attack next time.
In that case, I'll put my sword away and draw the Sword of Binding and point it at him and cast Hold Monster.
Okay, that is a wisdom save of 17. Oh, you put it up. Milo, go ahead and roll a wisdom save.
hold on, I'm making sure. Wisdom save?
Yeah. That does not work, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Bounded chains begin to wrap around Milo as he's going feral. More or less, he's like trying to attack you. Aster and Zhao, you can definitely tell that combat has ended in a way. But Milo is more or less primal right now.
Aster?
It's not my turn.
No, I was just, you lit up, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, I was wondering too, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't trying to say anything, my bad.
Okay, Yoko, you do have a bonus action. Anything else you're doing?
Nope, I'll just wait here for Milo to calm down.
Okay, Zhao.
Let's see, I have something. John would probably kind of look at them. Everything okay with him?
He seems to do this now and then, now and again now. So he should be fine after he cools off.
Well, I've never gotten to this point as this, so y'all don't know anything about what supposedly happened.
I mean, they know you change. They just never seen this kind of thing before. They just assuming.
Yeah, Yoko just figures you're still amped up from the fight. Not that you lost control or anything.
But yeah.
Xiao's gonna ready a spell just in case things go south.
Okay. Holding on to your action. Aster.
Just gonna walk over to Milo, and I'm gonna lay on hands him for, I don't know, like 30 points. The fight is over. The state in which she has you is uncontested.
I forget when things proc, but I think Milo is still in a feral state.
No. As soon as he, basically the way the mechanic works, if I am lower than, if I have fewer hit points than my half of my
yeah.
maximum, I have to make the wisdom save to then attack. And then if I fail it, I attack, but if not, I'm still in control. So right now, because he healed me, I've kind of, that bloody view has kind of subsided, like that bloodlust.
Okay. Good enough for me. Milo, your impulse control is coming back to you. That primal state of fight or flight is subsiding after you hear the murmured words of your teammate. Fight's over. Things are getting a little heated, and you do see yourself fully conscious now, wrapped up in chains.
I'm gonna try and break from. Doesn't whole person make it where I can?
I believe so.
Yeah, on your turn you can make another wisdom save.
Was it at the start or the end of the turn? I always forget.
End.
Okay. Turn, wisdom, break free of the magical chains.
I broke through it.
Okay. I am not stating this to continue PvP because depending on who you are, things can get a little heated. Milo, for sure, you can tell you went primal. If you continue on this state, you're not
I know
sure.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
not aggressing. I like revert back after I.
Yeah. I'm not saying you don't know this. I'm saying you went primal. You can't guarantee not death. If, this has happened once, it might be easier. You don't normally do this.
I've gone primal a few times while this. I mean, I've had training. I'm not freshly new. They taught me.
No, I know that. I'm saying that you've gone primal. Things have happened. You have training, but you are also fighting against someone just as capable as you. And you might just be in an instinctive attack pattern if you go into that state again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm clear of mind now.
Yeah. Aster took his turn. Zhao is still holding a spell. Milo.
Yeah, I got free from the whole person, and I've dropped the werewolf form. Or the
Yeah.
werebear form.
Yoko.
Yoko's gonna sheath her sword and pretend like she released him. Not that like he broke free.
You sheath your sword in a cool fashion. Whether or not you believe the fight was over due to ring out or going back to consciousness, as soon as someone else, a third party, does go into combat that isn't, you two, officially that does end regardless of any other thing else. In any rule set. Unless you're cheating, in which case everyone just saw you guys cheating.
I guess since combat's over, Milo kind of just stands up because he was lobbed and thrown, so dusts himself off, cracks his neck,
According to Yoko, he was lightly tossed.
Well,
mean-
still, he was stunned. He
Yeah,
might
I
have just
would've
like fallen down onto his rear after.
yeah, he has some
laying
dirt
there.
on him, but he's not like coated. He's not like
No.
awkwardly spewed about.
Well, that was fun. Still getting used to this. Luckily, it's a good thing you did what you did, because that would have been bad, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm sorry it was a pretty one-sided fight.
I said no limitations, and I knew exactly what I've known you for a while, so I know what you're capable of.
Sprite does
I-
nod.
I
Yeah,
just wanted to test to see if I could overcome it. For future fights with other spellcasters / swords people, spell swords.
yeah, stunning hurts a lot, Sprite says. It's how I lost a lot of times when we were first starting out. It happens.
Well, if you want my advice, it would be to stay close to him and see if you can find some way to interrupt them. When they try and cast magic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've been trained a little bit, so I have the ability to manipulate the key like you can, so I can stun them sometimes, possibly, hopefully. So I just we started the fight prepared, is what. So that's the reason why you were like. I feel like if we can get drops on them, I might fare a little bit better. But with you, the mirror image spell, that kind of messed me up a little bit. So
Well, I saw you starting to change, so I figured it was fair.
oh no, I'm not complaining or anything. I was just saying, like, that was a good move. I respect that. I just wish I wouldn't have missed as much. Oh well. Maybe another time.
Going into the extending days, you guys do spar from time to time, learning, figuring out each other's moves. Not to the extent of an official match, but to the extent of just training. Sprite also joins you in this, and you can tell, Milo, that Sprite has been taught well from Yoko. Aster is doing his things, helping out the people once more. At this point, legitimately, Aster does help out without pausing this time, so people are starting to realize that the rumors aren't exactly as bad as people state. You're nowhere near as competent as, the workers that have been doing this for their entire job span of their life. But you're good. You're like a new hand that is helping out, which is better than nothing.
I assume that there's always a place in a construction site for freakishly strong tall man,
Yes!
just in general.
You definitely help move things along, at the very least.
Carry all
Zhao,
that heavy shit across the field.
Zhao, you help out here and there, spotting the community. You can tell that the city has prospered a bit, not to the extent of everyone's rich. No more poverty. People are still kind of downtrodden because, the established rule of everyone is still a little wonky, but people are doing a far better job now. Aster's rules, from what you can tell, have established a more commerce viewpoint, not commerce specifically, communal viewpoint in the area. Not everyone likes each other, but people tolerate each other a little bit better, which is better than straight up outward racism. So, progress. Over the course of time, Yoko, you do receive a missive back. It does state that this individual that you spoke about, of the Red, is currently working and honing their skills in their own encampment, meaning their own family. They are still here if you wish to meet them. Hickory, however, has gone off into the wild, as stated by their family. And current location is unknown. So out in the world, not back home, but there's still the one person that in your dreams kind of sort of beat you up. Over the course of this information, weeks do go by, and eventually Aster's sister does return. What happens when she returns and after the Night Owls give you the information that you were looking for, we will figure that one out next time as we end the session for today.